All right, guys, we're just going to jump right into it for this video on these tips and tricks here. The first tip I have is to shoot vehicles in the rear. This is something that I don't see a lot of people doing, but it's something that you really should be doing a lot of the time because it makes you do more damage whenever you hit enemy vehicles in the rear. This is obviously really important for RPGs, but it's also important for early fights with the BMPs, where if you get behind the enemy, you'll be able to do more damage to them than they will be to you, and can just quickly shoot past them and then unload on the rear of their vehicle and probably take them out before they'll be able to hit you. It's also important when you're in vehicles, because when you're in a vehicle, you want to make sure that you're facing the enemy wherever they are, because if you're getting hit in the side or the rear, you're going to be ending up taking more damage and you're going to end up dying much quicker. So if you're in a tank, make sure you face towards the RPGs that are hitting you if they do hit you, because you'll take significantly less damage. Now we go on to one thing that not many people know, and I didn't actually know about for quite a while, and it's the backpack, right? We know the backpack is in the loadout and you can change what is in your backpack, but not many people know how to actually access it in game, and you do it by pressing I. It'll open this little menu and you can change out different sights. You can change out your secondary and primary sight. You can change out your underbarrel, even put like a shotgun underbarrel on or something like that. And you can equip some special gadgets like concussion grenades, smoke grenades, and gas grenades. Very, very useful on some maps like Warsaw, on the interior areas, or on maps where it's going to be close quarters fighting into rooms. Those concussion grenades and gas grenades can really be used to smoke people out of areas and get the drop on enemies. Very, very useful. I definitely recommend you guys use those as much as possible. Next tip has to do with our mobile command vehicles. These are basically mobile spawns, and I don't think many people realize how powerful these things are, where you can just slap it down near an objective right outside it, and your whole team can just quickly spawn on this thing and flood over an objective. I see so many times people just leave this thing in the base, or you lose all the objectives and everyone just quits the game instead of pushing for an objective using this thing. It is incredibly powerful to just spawn your team, be able to quickly get onto an objective, and then take it over just through sheer numbers, because it does take time to take out. You can always just keep respawning on it. It even has the MG to defend itself. Very, very powerful. You guys need to utilize this as much as possible because it's a great way to quickly take over an objective. Now on to challenges. Challenges are in the career menu. You've got dailies and weeklies, and they give you a nice little boost to your XP. They range from kind of hard to finish to very hard to finish, but nevertheless, they do give you a nice little boost of XP, although the boosters that they say they give you, I don't believe exist right now, and I think are going to come with the full update, but I could be wrong about that. Let me know in the comments. But nevertheless, make sure you guys are doing these because they're a great way to get a nice little cut of XP. Now, this is kind of a weird one. If you equip the same weapon in both your primary and your secondary weapon slot, you'll be effectively doubling the amount of passive XP you get in-game from capturing objectives, blowing up vehicles, healing teammates, getting teammate spawns, whatever it is that you're doing in-game, you'll get XP for both your weapons. And if they're the same weapon, you're effectively doubling that amount of XP, and it will help you level up your gun that much quicker. Now, you do have to do this on weapons that are light enough to be able to be put in both slots without over-capping on weight. But if you can do it, I recommend that you deck out one of your weapons for close range engagements and another one for longer range engagements. So that way you are versatile and can have weapons that shine in both situations. Now on to something that I really just don't see enough people doing, and it is radar and recon. I think people just underestimate this. I think that they just want to go with the big old main battle tanks, and they just don't call in anything except for these recon. And I think that's really a mistake, because recon is probably the most powerful thing in the game right now, I would say, just because of how much it helps you win fights. Just knowing where the enemy is in a game like World War III is absolutely crazy. It just gives you a massive edge over the enemy, just knowing, hey, there's an enemy directly on this mark right here. Or you can actively see them as they move around using the different radar abilities. Now, I personally like using just standard 900 cost radar. I think it's just the cheapest and best option overall. And so that's what I tend to use. But anytime I go on an objective, I just pop radar, right? If your teammates get a couple kills, it basically pays for itself. If you get a couple kills, it basically pays for itself. So I really don't know why people don't just spam this all the time, because it is supremely effective at just getting yourself on an objective and being able to take an objective and basically have no losses. Now on to XP and leveling up quickly, and this one is play with your squad, guys. Play with your squad. If you guys don't know, when you're capping an objective, you get XP based on the amount of squad members who are capping that objective with you. So if you're capping it with just one squad member, you're getting 6 per tick. But if you're capping with your entire squad, you're getting 30 per tick. It's 6 per squad member on the objective is what you get per tick of capturing an objective, which is crazy if you manage to max that out. So play with your squad, follow what your squad leader is marking to attack, because that's going to get you more strike points, and the more people on an objective, the faster it's going to cap as well, which is also a great way to just quickly get a bunch of XP in a game, just running from cap to cap, killing other people on the objective, flooding over it, and then quickly capturing it and getting a boatload of XP. You can see I got 13,500 XP right there just for sitting on an objective and getting a kill. Here I'm going to get like 1,400 XP because all I'm doing is I'm sitting on the objective, right? And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's not exactly a very glory-filled experience, right? You're not getting tons of kills. You're not gonna have the most kills in the game a lot of the time. But if you are playing the objective, I mean, that's where people tend to congregate, so you should be getting quite a bit of kills. But nevertheless, you're not gonna be driving around a tank getting a bunch of kills. But you are going to level up very quickly, especially if you have that double weapon tip from before. So, guys, play the objective as best you can. Quickly get up to, you know, 6,500 strike points by sitting on these objectives and getting all those points. And then you call in your tank and you run around killing everybody and you get your bloodthirst, and you get to, you know, sate that bloodthirst in game. But for now, guys, definitely cap those objectives, get that XP. Now, I'm going to kind of roll a lot of these tips into one here, and it's really just going to come down to kind of common sense, game sense kind of stuff. But I want to go over a couple things just so you guys can think about this while you're playing, because it is very important. Now, game sense is something that's going to come with time. That's just how it is in any game. But just remember that you don't need to be sprinting all of the time. When you're sprinting, you're going to reveal yourself a lot easier. You're going to be a lot louder. People are going to notice you. If you're moving slowly, you're going to have your gun ready. You're going to be able to catch people out who are sprinting, and you're probably going to win a lot more fights. So just keep that in mind. You don't need to be sprinting all the time. You know, if you're in a building and you're clearing a room or an objective, don't sprint everywhere. Don't reveal where you're at. Don't let the enemy have the potential just advantage on who reacts first, right? Give yourself that natural advantage. Now, other important things that you want to keep in mind as well while playing, just take in all of the information that the game is giving you and try to make your decisions based on that, right? It seems like it's common sense, but it's something that I think a lot of people just kind of don't think about. They just run around blindly and they just shoot enemies that they see, right? They're not thinking about how to take these engagements, and that is what is the difference between a good player and a great player. So one thing that you guys should realize, like right here, my teammate just died. I thought there were only 2 enemies, but if my teammate died, there's got to be a third. So I just come around this corner. Someone had just spawned, I'm guessing, on their squad mates there, and I get a free easy kill just by, you know, thinking logically, right? If you see those skulls, someone's nearby, right? That's pretty logical. If your teammates are shooting at a building, there's probably an enemy in that building, right? It's all of these things that kind of add up together. If you see a tank rampaging on the map, or you're seeing your enemies getting killed by tanks while you're in a tank, then maybe you should consider switching to AP so you can engage that tank and start playing a little bit more carefully in your vehicle so you can get the drop on that enemy tank. It's all these things together are kind of things that you should be considering and thinking about while you're playing in the game. And again, it's kind of common sense, but it's stuff that I think a lot of people aren't quite thinking about and you should be thinking about while you're playing. Easy one here, guys, is the repair tool. So when a vehicle has been damaged, you can run up to it or jump out. And when you're next to it, you can press 4 to pull out your repair tool. And then you just need to hold left click, go ahead and repair the vehicle up. It's great for, you know, in combat healing up whenever you don't want to have to go all the way back to your base. And with a full squad, you can heal up just about any vehicle that you might need to. Very good stuff there. Gets you a little bit of points as well. Now, you can also use your repair tool on enemy vehicles to damage them, but keep in mind that if you destroy the vehicle and bring it down to 0 health, it will explode and also kill you. But hey, sometimes sacrifices have to be made, right? Now on to our final tip, and probably one of the most important ones for the game, and it has to do with the early vehicles. And guys, you need to control the early game vehicles. If you're the ones that are jumping in these Wolverines and these IFVs or whatever the hell they are at the beginning of the match, you need to be taking out the enemy armor. That is your job. You have to be doing it. Go help secure the middle map neutral BMP that spawns, or whatever it is. But you need to be taking on the enemy armor and doing damage to it, and hopefully killing it. You can see here, I ended up taking out the enemy armor got all the way around it, flanked it, and this game was cake because we just drove around this IFV the entire game and just destroyed everybody. There was nothing that could contest me for such a long time. Keep in mind that there are neutral tanks that spawn in your base at about the 20-minute mark that you can always use as a counter to these IFVs that rampage. But if you manage to take out the enemy armor at the beginning of this game, these enemy APCs, I mean, it is just free reign for so long. I racked up so many kills and so many points, and you get such a huge bonus and advantage just by having these things. So make sure you guys are doing that. Make sure you're taking out the enemy armor, and make sure you do everything you can to keep your armor alive so you can go on these giant rampages. Now, if you're on the receiving end of this and someone threw away your vehicle or you just got unlucky or something like that, make sure that you go and you get an AT class. You start trying to harass that thing with rockets, send it back to base, make them repair, make them jump out, so on and so forth, and put down mines everywhere. These maps are full of these choke points where these vehicles have to drive through. So make sure you put mines down to force them through those little choke points, because a lot of the times they're not going to be thinking about mines. They're just going to be driving all willy-nilly because they're so confident and cocky because there's nothing to contest them, and they'll end up driving right over a mine, and mines do upwards of 75% of these things' health, and you'll be just fine after you do that, and you'll probably be able to take them out. I can't tell you guys how many free kills I've gotten by placing a mine and then 10 minutes later get a kill because some vehicle happened to drive over it, you know, 15 minutes later or something like that. It is a great feeling to get those kills with those mines, and you're also going to even the odds quite a bit. Now, again, there are neutral tanks that spawn about the 10-minute mark, so make sure you guys grab those if need be. And also keep that in mind if you're in these IFVs at the beginning. Those are going to spawn. But you can see just the destruction that these things cause at the beginning is huge, and it gives your team a huge advantage. So keep that in mind. Deal with these things. Don't let the enemy team just go on massive rampages. Take these things out as best you can. That's it, guys. Thank you guys for watching these tips. Let me know in the comments below your guys' tips for new players in this game. I'd love to hear them. You know, all of us working together, getting better at World War III, and making the community a better place and better players. If you guys enjoyed the video, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll have more World War III content. If you guys want to pick up World War III based on these videos and things, check the link down in the description below. It would help me out as well if you use that link. And finally, guys, you can come to our channel, twitch.tv/HeyQuadro, get some drops and things like that whenever drop events are going on. And you can join our community Discord. Again, links for those are all down in the description below. And without anything else, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.